todos ustedes y con eso voy a cambiar ahora. Thank you very much. So I'm really very honored to be here. It's a delight to be able to be with all of you, and I've already learned so very much this morning from colleagues from Mexico and Colombia and everywhere. So I am working at the American Library Association, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my perspective working at a national association with academic librarians from across primarily the United States about how I understand library contributions to the educating librarian and being a driving force for successful students. First, just a few words about ACRL. We are part of the American Library Association, and we have members of over 10,000 individual people that have joined our association over the years. When we say librarians, we do typically mean people who have received training, people who have gone to library science school, who have a master's degree, but increasingly, we see people coming into the field who are coming with other kinds of backgrounds, who have technical knowledge or expertise that they learned in other ways, who have PhDs in other areas, who are contributing to initiatives. So the kinds of things we do at ACRL are issue standards and guidelines, a news magazine, 2 scholarly peer-reviewed journals. We organize workshops, we have webcasts, and a conference. We serve all types of higher education libraries, whether these are 2-year technical colleges, 4-year liberal arts colleges, or large research universities like the NAM. Today I'm going to touch on 4 key documents that ACRL has issued in recent years that talk about this topic of librarians as educators. So first is the Standards for Libraries in Higher Education, which was approved earlier this year in February. ACRL is the source that the U.S. higher education community looks to for standards, for guidelines, and for frameworks on academic libraries. These documents help libraries, but they also help our parent institutions and accrediting agencies understand the components of an excellent library. So these standards I'll talk about were first adopted in 2011, and they were updated in 2018. They differ from previous approaches because they really look now and articulate the expectation that the library will contribute to the larger institution, and it provides a comprehensive framework for using an outcomes-based approach. The chair of the committee that first developed this new approach in 2011 said that these standards make a statement about what libraries are, what they do, how they contribute, how they make a difference, and ultimately, how they add value on our campuses, in our communities, and within higher education. This is a really powerful way, I think, to examine what academic libraries are, and it gives us language for describing the work that we do. In 2018, a task force updated this document, and I'll just very briefly describe it. It's fully available on our website, but only in English, and I invite someone to volunteer to translate it into Spanish. That would be awesome. So, there are 9 key principles, each with a description. First, the standards say, talk about institutional effectiveness. Libraries define, develop, and measure outcomes that contribute to institutional effectiveness and apply findings for purposes of continuous improvement. Next, professional values. Libraries advance professional values of intellectual freedom, intellectual property rights, and values, user privacy and confidentiality, and user-centered service. Next is the educational role. I'll come back to that one in a minute. Then discovery. Libraries enable users to discover information in all formats through effective use of technology and organization of knowledge. Collections. Libraries provide access to collections sufficient in quality, depth, diversity, format, and currency to support the research and teaching needs of the institution. Space. Libraries are the intellectual commons where users interact with ideas in both physical and virtual environments to expand learning and facilitate the creation of new knowledge. Management, administration, leadership. Library leaders engage in internal and campus decision-making to inform resource allocation and to meet the library's mission effectively and efficiently. libraries provide sufficient number and quality of personnel to ensure excellence and to function successfully in an environment of continuous change. External relations. Libraries engage the campus and broader community through multiple strategies in order to advocate, educate, and promote their value. So each one of these has a set of performance indicators that tell you how would you know if the library is meeting this kind of a standard. So let's look at the educational role. So the principle for the educational role says libraries partner in the educational mission of the institution to develop and support information literate learners who can discover, access, and use information effectively for academic success, for research, and for lifelong learning. Then those performance indicators get a little more specific, and I have the first three. Library personnel collaborate with faculty and others regarding ways to incorporate library collections and services into effective curricular and co-curricular experiences for students. The second, library personnel collaborate with faculty to embed information literacy learning outcomes into curricula, into courses, and assignments. Library personnel model best pedagogical practices for classroom teaching, online tutorial design, and other educational practices. The remaining three are around libraries providing instruction through multiple learning platforms and pedagogies, providing faculty with professional development, so the libraries as educators of faculty, and around having the appropriate IT infrastructure for learning technologies. So we can use these kinds of performance indicators as measures of quality and ask very simple questions like, does the library collaborate with faculty to embed information literacy learning outcomes? And then you can ask, how well do we do it? Are we doing it as well as we ought to? Are we doing it in a way that's appropriate for our campus, for our curriculum, for our faculty? So this becomes then a pretty straightforward way to judge a library's performance against a given set of nationally recognized standards. These can be used for strategic planning, for reporting, for accreditation, for program review. They can be used to show your academic administrators that we need new resources, we're not meeting these standards. Or we need to evolve and change services or roles so they can provide you language to talk within your own library and university. You can use them to demonstrate the impact you have on curricula, and of course to continue to nurture what's working well. We are right on track, we are doing exactly what our national standards tell us to do, yay, let's keep going. Again, these are freely available on our website, and we look for volunteers to translate them, so if there's someone who has that expertise, please raise your hand, let me know. So while these are sort of a broad guiding statement about academic libraries and higher education, ACRL offers more specific guidance on particular topics, and I want to talk next about the framework for information literacy for higher education. This was first filed in February 2015, but it was approved by our board in 2016. It has been translated into Spanish and into many other languages. It's freely available on our website. I encourage you to take a look. As described in the introduction to the document itself, this framework grows out of the belief that information literacy as an educational reform movement will realize its potential only through a richer, more complex set of core ideas. In the 15 years between the framework and the preceding document, the Information Literacy Competency Standards for Higher Education, academic librarians and their partners in higher education have developed learning outcomes, tools, and resources that some institutions have deployed to infuse information literacy concepts and skills into the curricula. However, as we've heard from this morning's panel, the higher education environment continues to rapidly change, and we're thinking about sort of the oceans of information now coming at students. This framework kind of takes that into consideration and recognizes that students have a greater role and responsibility in creating new knowledge and understanding its contours and the changing dynamics of the world of information, and how they can use information, data, and scholarship ethically. So I'd encourage you to read the introduction because it describes kind of the philosophical underpinnings of why this approach is taken at this point in time. It's organized into 6 frames, which are simply listed alphabetically. They're not in any kind of other hierarchy. And let me share them with you. Authority is constructed and contextual. Information resources reflect their creators' expertise and credibility and are evaluated based on the information need and the context in which the information will be used. Information creation as a process. Information in any format is produced to convey a message and is shared via selected delivery method. This iterative process of researching, creating, revising, and disseminating information, they vary, and the products that result reflect these differences. Information has value. Information possesses several dimensions of value, including as a commodity, as a means of education, as a means to influence, and as a means of negotiating and understanding the world. Legal and socioeconomic interests influence information production and dissemination. Research as inquiry. Research is iterative. It depends upon asking increasingly complex or new questions, whose answers in turn develop additional questions or lines of inquiry in any field. Scholarship as a conversation. Communities of scholars, researchers, or professionals engage in sustained discourse with new insights and discoveries occurring over time as a result of varied perspectives and interpretations. Lastly, searching as strategic exploration. Searching for information is often nonlinear and iterative, requiring the evaluation of a range of information resources and mental flexibility to pursue alternate avenues as new understanding is developed. So again, in the full document, you'll find a more rich description of each frame. You'll find a set of knowledge practices and dispositions that students or learners of any kind can take on, and that librarians have used this to great effect to have deep and meaningful conversations with faculty about how they want to approach their course design. I've heard directly from faculty myself that it gave them a completely new insight into understanding what the work of academic librarians is. ACRL has other supporting resources to help librarians use this framework. We offer all sorts of things, webinars, there's many articles written about it, conference presentations, and so on. So again, you can take a look at this. It's in Spanish on our website. And so these two documents sort of give you a broad perspective on what we see in the United States as important underpinnings for how we understand ourselves now, how the profession understands itself, what we as librarians expect of ourselves and our work, and how we can talk about our work within the higher education context. Let me give you just a few examples of some specific things that educator librarians have been doing in their own colleges and universities. So ACRL created a program with funding from the U.S. federal government called Assessment in Action, Academic Libraries and Student Success. And we had a 3-year program. We had 200 different campuses and 200 different teams going through the program. Institutions of all types participated. Librarians led a team, and the team had to have at least 2 people from outside the library. So it could be the librarian with an English faculty member, with someone from student housing, someone from the assessment office, or the writing center. And they had to design and carry out a project that was meaningful to them and meaningful to their campus, that looked at something the library was doing, a program or service, instruction, reference, collection, space. And what was the impact of that? What was the value that it brought to the student? Did it help students with retention? Did they get better grades? Did they graduate faster? And so it had to be something that mattered to the university as a whole. So what those questions were was completely up in the air. The program really helped people design a robust assessment process and carry it out. So now, from looking at these 200 projects, we have some really compelling assessment findings because we could see patterns across all 200, and there were some similarities and commonalities. So I want to share a few examples of those. So we can say with confidence that students truly do benefit from having library instruction in their initial coursework. Whether they're new freshmen, or whether they have transferred in, or they are returning adults coming back later in life, their initial courses that they have, having library instruction helps multiple library sessions in that one course, with in-person as well as online tutorials. And they found that they had pre-test and post-test data. They found that there was absolutely a positive relationship between students who completed the tutorials and what their final grade was in that course. Additionally, students self-reported that they had increased confidence in finding and using those resources. Next, we know that library use increases student success. So just using the library in some way, checking out books, sitting in on a session, using an online database, any way of engaging seems to be related to students who succeed at a higher rate. So again, one example of those 200 is Eastern Kentucky University. They found that students who logged in and accessed online resources had higher grade point averages than students who never did that. So there's a relationship there. The third area is about collaborative academic programs or services that involve the library, and these do enhance student learning. So these are sort of partnerships with writing centers or speech labs or tutoring services, those kinds of things. At Eastern Mennonite University, they looked at a collaboration between the library and the Academic Support Center to offer drop-in tutoring. Students would come in as they needed it. And they found that students, 64% said their grades on a particular test or assignment improved. 88% who used the service said they had a better grade in the overall course. And they saw that almost 95% of students who used it came back the next semester. So the library's involvement with that was very helpful. Next, information literacy strengthens general education outcomes. We heard our panelists this morning talk about the importance of educators sort of shaping people as citizens. So these are sort of the larger general education outcomes. And many of our institutions who participated found that instruction in live information and literacy did more than just help students learn how to find stuff. It helped them with these larger outcomes like inquiry-based problem-solving learning, critical thinking, ethical reasoning, civic engagement. So as one example, at Arkansas Technical University, they looked at a course they offer to promote higher order thinking, a credit-bearing course. And they found that these students did have an increase in the use of critical thinking, which is a general broad indicator of student success. And the last strong finding we had was about library research consultations boosting student learning. So at Queensland University of Technology in Australia, they looked at the library's academic skills advisor consultation service. So students who were really struggling, students who had significant academic challenges, were referred to use this service, to go in and meet one-on-one with the librarian. And they found that students who did had higher GPAs than students who were told to do it but never attended. So in addition to these 5 areas, there are other areas we consider promising. We didn't have as much evidence, but they were things like the library contributes to improved student retention, library instruction adds value to a student's long-term academic experience, the library promotes academic rapport and student engagement, and the use of library space relates positively to student learning and success. We have a report after every cycle of institutions participated. This is the 3rd-year report that kind of is the culminating report of all 200. And at that URL, you can also find a link to the individual project descriptions for each university. They describe what their project was, who they worked with, and they have an image of a poster. They all presented poster sessions at our conference. So after that project was over, we commissioned a group to do a really rigorous research report to look at all the literature that's out there now about academic libraries and student success. And we have this report, Academic Library Impact, Improving Practice and Essential Areas to Research. This was written for us by OCLC Research, and it provides a really valuable resource for how libraries can increase student learning. It builds on a 2010 publication we had called The Value of Academic Libraries, a comprehensive research review report. Some nods, people remember that, maybe they get Oakley associated with that. This new report built on it, looked at 535 new pieces of scholarship that have come out since that 2010 report. So it took what we learned from assessment and action, but it looked at all the literature out there. And they also had focus group interviews with library administrators, and they did individual interviews with close to 24, I think, college and university administrators and provosts. So they have really rich sources of information beyond what you find in the published literature. It suggests specific actions librarians can take as they develop programs, collections, or spaces, or services, and it calls out exemplary studies. And it calls out areas where we just need more research. We don't know enough yet. So I'll quickly go over the 6 areas, but if this piques your interest, you'll want to read it yourself. They are, the priority area for action is that is to communicate the library's contributions to the university, match library assessment to the institution's mission. So assess things in your library that the institution cares about. Include library data in the institution's data collection process. Quantify the library's impact on student success. Enhance teaching and learning, so do more to keep helping learning be great and teaching be good. And collaborate with other educational stakeholders. So again, under each of these 6, there's specific actions that are recommended that you take right now, along with areas where more research is needed. I'll give you just a taste of some of those actions. So under this idea of communicating the library's contributions, it gets back to actually what our moderator was saying. These are things we know, but we need our university administrators to hear these messages too. So these are things like communicate with those outside the library, high in the institution's administration, because they have a bird's eye view of what the library should be doing, and they can advocate for and support the library if they feel invested in and part of the library. So it gives very specific steps like that. Another, determine the terminology used by provosts to communicate the library's value, and adopt this terminology. Use it when you communicate back with them in the future. So some very common sense things, but very practical, immediate steps you can take. In addition to these practical steps and exemplary studies, the report does say we need more research in these areas or those areas. So ACRL now offers research grants. So if any of you are wanting to do research on academic libraries around these areas, they're small grants, they're modest grants, but take a look on our website. We do offer funding every year. We've done this for 2 years now. And we also offer travel scholarships. We want librarians to go and speak at higher education conferences, not at library conferences. We want them to talk to accreditors. We want them to talk to provosts and so on, to talk about the good work that libraries do so that the message gets out more broadly. So these are just a few of the things ACRL has done and a few of the things I see from the national perspective in the United States. We do offer so much more. We have one-day workshops that can come and travel to you and spend a whole day talking about assessment, or spend a whole day talking about the framework for information literacy, or a whole day about using the standards for libraries and higher education. Really hands-on activities so you can adapt and use these in your own context. We also offer online webinars on this topic. And I would be remiss if I didn't invite you all to come to Cleveland, Ohio next spring for our conference, Recasting the Narrative. We would love to have you. There will be more than 500 programs. We'll have more than 3,000 of your peers will be there. We have people from many different countries, so good global representation, and exhibits from over 200 companies. We also have a virtual conference, so for those who aren't able to travel, you can participate virtually. So I would